This is exciting. It's my first live. Let's see who comes in. Gosh, I'm so excited. Let me grab a hat real quick. Let's see who pops in here. See who wants to talk or chat. I'm dog sitting right now, so we got it's Barley over here. That's the name of the dog, and then I got Moxie, my dog. Oh, I can't see comments. That's sweet. Hey, Barley. Barley, what you doing, buddy? Hey, how's it going? This is first live feed. I'm so excited. Cannot see who it is, but hi. I'm excited. This is quite exciting for me. Quite exciting. Oh, they left. Okay. Barley, hey buddy. Good dog. Good boy. You're a good boy. This is an example. Tap on the comment to show its screen. Oh, sweet. Okay, that's how that works. That's awesome. That is so awesome. This is an example. Tap on the screen. This is an example. Let's see what's banners. This is an example of a banner. Click on the banner to show it on the screen. That's cool. Use banner to summarize your talking points. That's awesome. Brand. I don't know what that is, but comments. So see, nobody's commented yet. Court, from what I understand. What's up, Outdoors with Big Matt? How's it going? This is my first live. It's so exciting to me. I can't stop smiling. Oh, I'm drooling a little bit. I'm so excited. Oh. I thought, no, I'll come on. I am dog sitting, so why not come on and hang out for a little bit, you know? You guys want to see anything? Want to see any traps? Let me know. I've got two big bags of raccoon feed. It's a sweet feed. It's like a barley, oats, and powdered molasses mix. It's a horse feed. A 40-pound bag of that for raccoon to put in buckets. Also got a 50-pound bag of whole corn that I'm going to soak, put some beer in. Kind of ferment it, see if that works. Got some old leftover salmon cans. Old canned salmon from like 10 years ago. It's no good. We opened one, it's no good. Gonna throw that in the raccoon bucket. Stuff like that. So kind of exciting. They're gonna be 220 buckets. In Oregon, you can do 220 buckets. Which is pretty cool. Some states you can only run what is it, 160s? Shouldn't be drinking soda. I'm burping now. It looks like we got no viewers, so we'll wait till somebody else comes in. Barley, what you looking at, buddy? You looking at the sweet feed over there? I know you smell it. It's sweet, huh? A little bit of sweet smell to it, doesn't it, buddy? Yeah, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. What's up? Outdoor Matt. Big Matt. It's a nice catfish on your profile there, bud. Kind of cool. What do you guys want to talk about? I just so I'll go over what I just talked about. I just got two big bags of feed. It's a sweet feed. It's like a molasses, barley, and crushed oats. It's a mix for the raccoons. Then I also got a big 50-pound bag of sweet corn or corn, whole corn. I'm going to soak, put some beer in there, yeast, some sugar, make it kind of a fermented corn. And it's going to make, what it's going to do is it's going to be like a fermented corn. And it gets a sweet smell. It's similar to what you would see in the Midwest for hog feed. But I'm going to try to figure out a way to add some molasses in there, try to sweeten it up a little bit so it's not as bitter, has a little bit of sweeter smell. It's going to be a challenge if I ferment it. I'm thinking about fermenting the corn, and no, I'm not making liquor. I don't drink liquor. The way I was thinking about doing it the other way was just to do it with water and just plump the corn up, soak it so it plumps up, and just use the corn that way without the fermented smell of the corn. But that's the two ways I was going to do it. The other way I was going to do it is one other way. I was going to get the sweet feed mix, which is cattle feed, cheap cattle feed, whole corn, put it in a bucket, get a 2.5-pound pail of molasses, like cattle molasses. You give the cattle something, dump that in there, sweeten it up, but not sure how I'm going to do it yet. You guys have to wait and see. Well, because I got to think about how I'm going to do it, but that's one of the things I'm going to do. What I'm going to use that stuff for is inside a 220 bucket. In Oregon, we can use 220s on land. So I've probably the majority of my traps are 220s, just because they can do a little bit of everything. From muskrat, beaver. It's a little small for beaver, but it works. I caught one in it last year. Otter. Some of the Belials I have will kill otter dead on the stand. Dukes will work too, but there's 220 in a bucket. I'm gonna try to put some different lures in there. That's got some lures from She Traps. That is like different bobcat and basically predator baits. Someone at the door. Predator baits. And throw some predator meat bait in there. Throw a little bit of the holy water in there. Which the holy waters are like a skunk lure. Hey Judith and Dan, yeah, I watched your fermented video. That's why I just mentioned that I'm not making liquor like you said in your video. I didn't even think about that until I watched your video. And I don't need the cops knocking on my door, be like, why are you making liquor illegally, all that stuff. But moonshine liquor. But yeah, that's one other thing I was thinking about. Lost my train of thought. See what Dan said. Ferment with yeast, Kool-Aid, and Jello mix. Ferment for a week. See that? Oh, that was a dog. I thought someone came in. That would be my brother. I was gonna ferment with like either a wine, a couple cans of beer, which we got beer out here at the banquet beer from my dad's work that he gets stuff after big golf tournaments. Banquet beer. We're gonna put sugar in there. I was gonna do the molasses, try to sweeten it up. Yeah, pig liquor, exactly. Pig liquor, exactly. We're just gonna try to sweeten it up to try to counteract the sweetness or the bitterness. But the other option I was gonna do is just soak it with water and plump it up, so it doesn't have like a bitter smell. I really don't need to worry about the deer as much because it's gonna be in a bucket. I know people talk about deer. Well, deer eating the corn and all this stuff. What we feed the deer out here is apples. There's a place up the street here that the guy just lets you come and take the apples. He doesn't want them. Anything on the ground you can take, basically. So we fill the truck up, dump the apples up on the hill, up in the mountains here, put a camera on it. And if you're on my Facebook page, you've probably seen tons of photos. I've been uploading them all the time. Coyotes in pairs. Just the other day, coyote was pooping over there by the apples. Deer, raccoons, all kinds of things. Yep, Kool-Aid mix. Yep. I was thinking Kool-Aid mix or even the Crystal Light packs, because you can buy the Crystal Light packs in the big thing, kind of like you can get the or what is that orange stuff, but you can get it in a big bin, a big pack. Just dump that in there. I don't know if we have the big Kool-Aid packs like I've seen on some videos around here. We usually just have the small ones. Yeah, I was thinking the big bottles like this that you mix into the like a liter thing of water to drink. I think something like that. Judith and Dan are saying hello to Outdoors with Big Matt. I don't think I've seen Big Matt on my channel yet, which is kind of cool to see someone new. They say hello, Judith and Dan. So that's something I was thinking about. But then my dad brought up to me the other day. I live with my parents. We do this as kind of a family. My brother, myself, and my dad. For all of our trapping licenses, we go out together. Tang, yes, that's right. Tang, yes. Oh, that's such an old thing. I remember when I was a kid. Dang, it's so good, so sweet. We're gonna take some of the canned salmon that we had canned about 10 years ago that we opened the other day, and it just wasn't good. It's sitting back of the fridge or back of the pantry. Open that can, throw it in there. Throw some sweet feed mix in there, some fermented corn and some we're gonna throw some meat in there. Let's take you with me here real quick so I can show you some of the stuff I just got in. It's gonna get dark kind of because I'm going into the garage, but I'll show you something. Hopefully the connection stays. Lights on. Ooh, that's skunky. That's skunky, man. I have that all bagged up in like 7 bags. It's so skunky. But I just got some mouse sheep traps, mouse meat predator bait. That might go in some of the buckets. Gonna put some Heartbreaker in there. It's a Heartbreaker. It's a predator bait. So something cool about Heartbreaker is as of recent, the first couple days of the season, Heartbreaker from She Traps outperformed Dunlap's Soul Taker on how many Bobcat it took. The Heartbreaker took 2 Bobcat, and Dunlap's Soul Taker had taken none at the beginning of their season. So that, if you're into Bobcat trap or predator trapping, you might want to check out the Heartbreaker. Also got this is all coming out in the video, but I got the Black Widow stands here, 2 of them. Pretty cool stuff. I got all kinds of lures here. Here's a special package, but don't want to drop that. Pipe sets work. Let's see. Pipe sets work great. Use it like a pocket and set and put your salmon in the pipe. See, I thought about that, but when I trap my brother, he doesn't like doing leg holds. It's just something he doesn't want to have to deal with dispatching animals. So he used pretty much all conibears. That's not saying we won't put the beaver leg holds out like with the Black Widow stands, but we don't do a lot of leg holds. Brother's just not a fan of it, and I don't feel like having to make my brother have to see that if he doesn't want to see putting the animal to sleep. So it's just something that he doesn't want to do, so I'm not doing it. But there's also this thing called it's a complete predator bait. It's liquidized predator bait. It's called One Shot She Traps predator bait. Yep, use drowner on the set. See, that's the thing. I have a couple 1.5 on cable drowners, quarter-inch cable drowners, 1/8 quarter. Geez, I can't speak. 1/8 drowners, and I thought about running some of those. I don't get it. My brother says I don't want to deal with leg holds. He still said that, so I'm like, I'll see if I can work him into putting some out. But here's the She Traps banana split DP sauce. So it's funny because you have DP sauce here, like banana split. She also has a s'mores one that smells like s'mores. Then in here, in the bag here, I'll open real quick. She has a raccoon lure called Cotton Candy. Let's see if I can open this. Oh my God, that's strong. That's the holy water for you. Holy crap, man. Woo! Wow. Wow. Burning my nose. If you're looking for a strong skunk lure, like stronger than Hellfire, She Traps, holy water. Like, I got chills right now. Just it's so strong. But there's dogs barking. If you use the banana split DP sauce, take some of her cotton candy coon lure and put that on there. She has some really good lures in there. I got a bunch of them. But definitely want to support more women in the industry. That's something that I like supporting is women in the outdoors. Ever since let me shut this. Being a fisherman and floating down the river and just standing on the riverbank for the last 25 years of fish. I'm 27, right? So 25 years of fishing. I'm right here. 25 years of fishing, and over time you never saw any women at first, right? Then you started seeing women, and every time they come down, they'd be frozen. They'd freeze, right? The women would be frozen, ice cold, and they'd be miserable. That's a big thing too. If you're gonna take a woman out, that's right. I was gonna get some of that. Jeff's Blackjack, good stuff. Jeff Dunlap has amazing stuff. Something I'm starting to notice over time is when the women started coming down the river fishing, right? They would be frozen in the core. And if a woman is frozen, you can forget ever bringing her down the river fishing in the winter again. It's just not going to happen. You ruined it. So you might as well buy really good warm clothes. Because if you're warm, it's like nothing. You don't worry about rain, nothing. You stay dry, you're fine. Warm clothes are essential. I have a bunch of warm clothes upstairs I'm going to do videos on. There's even I have a couple of neoprene. This is kind of cool. Neoprene jackets, right? That add 5 pounds of buoyancy to you if you fall in the water. So, and then if you put the bibs on, that's another 5 pounds of buoyancy. So you have 10 pounds of positive buoyancy in the water when you fall in. Very warm, good stuff. But over time, I started seeing more women, and I was like, "This is great." There's more women out there. Then a lot of them were cold, and then last probably 10 years, they started to develop winter clothes for women in the Pacific Northwest, like salmon fishing and stuff like that. And over time, I started seeing them come down happy and not just like this, not moving the head, like the chills, frozen. Over time, I started seeing them being more happy. They were dry, they're fishing, and they're starting to have fun. And more fun the woman has, and they're not dry, right? The more times they're going to go down with you, and you get to take your wife out, your girlfriend out. You get to take them fishing with you. So that's one of the biggest things I preach is if you're going to take your woman, make sure she has adequate clothes. Not just yourself, but your woman. Because you want a woman to be happy, or do you want her to be complaining the whole way down the river for 6-7 hours floating the river? It's not fun. And she's not having fun. I mean, not much you can do when you float down the river and she starts going down the river, and you can't pull out of the river. You have to go all the way down to the end of the drift because you drift with the current, all the way to the end of the drift, then pull out. So 6-7 hours on the boat and you have no way off it and you're miserable. I want to wish that on my worst enemy. That stuff's cold. I've done that stuff where I've had sweatshirts, 3 sweatshirts, 3 long sleeve shirts, 2 t-shirts, and a jacket. And I was soaked down to the core because I didn't have a waterproof jacket on. Soaked to my body, right? And I'm not someone to complain, but my gosh, that was cold. Not a peep out of me the whole 7 hours we floated the river. I just fished. The guy looked at me like, "Are you not cold?" I'm like, I mentally, zoned it out. And once I got in the truck, it started getting warm. I was like, "Holy moly, it's freezing," But ever since then, I bought good jackets to stay dry, and I could go through rainstorms. I could go through everything. Grunions makes great stuff. Previously rain gear, you get wet, you're dry. As long as you're dry, you're happy. But that's the one thing guy mentioned to me, like, you're not complaining. Why? You're literally soaked to the core. I'm like, I just don't want to complain. I don't want to be the person that goes down the river and complains the whole way, and then that guy never takes me down the river again. So let's see what Dan said. Judith likes running the dog proofs, and I like the water line. The beaver trapping is my thing now. She gets cold. We aren't getting younger. That's right. And see, getting cold, that's a big thing. Having like a PVC rain gear, like a Grunions brand that is heavy duty, that's like they use in the commercial fishing in Alaska. It's not, invest in the $120 rain gear jacket, $120 bibs. You're not going to get wet. I mean, downpours and you're not getting wet. That stuff is bulletproof as long as you don't cut it yet. If you cut it, you're ruined. You have a hole. But that stuff, I wear it in the summer sometimes when I'm kneeling down in the mud. I don't get my pants are clean. Mud, snow, rain on the rocks, all over the place. And it's pretty bulletproof. The Grunions brand. It's good stuff. Definitely should check it out. And then, of course, the layering stuff is important. I always overlayer because if I can't put stuff on unless I have it near me. Let's see. The Macmillan neoprene waders. Yep. We use a lot of hip boots. We aren't going in like up to our chest, but hip boots we use a lot if we're going in the water. Now, you don't have a lot of warmth with them. Out here on the coast, the water sometimes gets into the 30s. In winter, sometimes in the 20s. Well, 30s. I can't say 20s because it doesn't necessarily freeze. Probably does because it's a flowing river, but it gets cold where you're standing in the river for a few hours and you start feeling it in your bones. I mean, you start feeling it in your bones. Macmillan neoprene. Never heard of Macmillan. I've heard a lot of other brands. But a lot of good stuff out there. There's a lot of good brands. There's a company called Stormer. Stormr. Stormer. and that's the company that makes the neoprene stuff. But their stuff is anywhere from $140 up to $300-400. So you can get, and most of it's neoprene. So you could buy that stuff. That's good stuff. That's the stuff that adds buoyancy to if you fall in the water. So if you fall in and you swim, you add buoyancy so you don't sink. That's now there's a huge disclaimer on the website. That does not mean you shouldn't wear your life vest. That's not saying, oh, I have this, it's gonna help me survive. If you wear that, it's aiding in the life vest, but it doesn't replace the life vest. I want to make sure that's very clear. It does not replace a life vest, that stuff. So pretty cool stuff. In one of the videos on the Stormer website, he went up to Alaska, one of the guys, and jumped in the Bering Sea, pretty much with the Stormer gear on, bibs and jacket, jumped in, came out, he was fine. Whereas if you normally fall in there, by the time you come out, you're frozen and shivering to death. So stuff adds a lot of warmth. Yeah, there's a lot of different things I've adapted from fishing. I know I'll be putting steel in the ground. I'll be putting steel in the ground in December 1st. After my brother goes hunting, because we do it together, like I said. After my brother goes hunting, December 1st, we'll put him in the ground. Season opens November 15th, but we're going to wait a little bit. I just found out the other day, though, coyote season open year round here, from what I was told. So, kind of cool. Dumped the canoe in with the waders on. I did not get soaked. It acted like a wetsuit. Yep. See, that's you got to be careful with the loose waders, the loose ones, not the neoprene ones, but like the fabric loose ones, the breathable ones they call them. Because out here, if you fall in the river there and that sucks you under, that's like a parachute under the water, pulling you under, and you're drowned. And a lot of people have died that way. Where they put it on, somehow they fall, the current sucks them under, and they get pulled down river and they die. Can't come up because it's too heavy. That's why they make like wading belts, like a belt you put on that has weights in it to help you stay on the bottom, help you stay there in place. But the wading belt, at the same time, people argue if you put the wading belt on and you fall in the water, it's pulling you under also. So, you know, you got to be kind of cautious with that stuff. Oh, hold on. Oh, you're trying to play with Moxie? Yeah, so you got to be careful with that stuff. You guys want to go out? Oh, no way I'm not letting you out. The squirrel's there. No, Barley, you aren't used to that. Normally give the squirrel some nuts. Nothing that we do there, you're attack the squirrel. My dog looks at the squirrel and just doesn't care. She'll sit right next to the window and I'll feed the squirrel, and the squirrel doesn't care. The dog sitting though, sees on the fence and goes nuts. So, hey Barley, come here, Barley. Is there something you guys want to see that I've talked about in the past? The Hammer, man, how's it going? If you guys haven't checked out the Hammer, he makes custom earth anchors and earth anchor drivers. You can make them pretty much any length. You can go check out Judith and Dan has a video on it. He has some videos on it. Definitely some good stuff. You're living the dream, huh? Oh, I can imagine. Something that I love and I learned in high school is a lot of metalworking, like welding. I can run 4 or 5 different kind of welders. But man, metalworking is where it's at for me. True passion of mine. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Oh man, I miss it so much. Like it's something welding. You can do it for 4 years in like high school. It's been 10 years since I've been out of high school, a little longer. I can go pick it up right now and weld. May not be the prettiest, but you don't forget how to weld. It's fun stuff. Yeah, the Hammer has some awesome products. Judith says hello to the Hammer. They're pretty good people, both of them. I mean, it's funny because Judith and Dan, you might want to hear this. So I was on before I was kind of doing videos. I just had my personal page, which this was. My dad's like, you need to go check out Judith and Dan. They're putting up some awesome content, awesome traffic content. So I looked you up, I subscribed to you, and my dad's like, then I would check all your videos now. My dad mentioned it to me, and I was like, my dad likes it. I know he watches some YouTube videos. He's kind of picky who watches, but he likes you guys, and it's cool. You're welcome to Hammer. Top of the line drivers and slides. That's right, side locks. his slide locks, you know how you have like chain slide locks? They're like maybe 1/8 inch thick. His are like a 1/4 inch thick. Like his are like that thick. That's a little exaggeration, but like if you think about it, some of them are real thin like that. His are like that thick. Super heavy duty, super well made. Amazing. They don't bend, they don't kind of get locked up. They like locked up when or fouled up, you know what I mean? But when they go down drown, they lock up. They're just right. They're so well designed that you could probably run it over with a bulldozer and it would still be in shape, you know? It's such a heavy duty thing, and that's personally what I look for in products is extra heavy duty stuff, because you know what I think about when I spend my money, I want to buy it once and not have to buy it again. I don't want to have to keep throwing money away. That's why you see me a lot of times with like Belial's, Savage Joe's. You see me with stuff because I save my money up and then buy a batch of them because I don't want to have to keep, you know, buying stuff. I've ordered a few Dukes off eBay. Nothing wrong with Dukes. Amazing trap. If I was doing public trapping, I'd all Dukes and Bridgers. But over time, it got so rusted and it sat in someone's garage after I bought them. Not the springs, but the okay, I thought I was lagging there. Springs, not the springs, but the actual bar of the trap was snapped off. It got so rusted that the actual bar broke off. So that I was like, nothing I could do about that. I could try welding it, but I don't know. I don't want to rely on that. So I just threw it away. But that's something you got to watch out for. Some of the cheaper traps, they rust, the metal gets brittle and it breaks. But you know what? Buy what you, like I said, buy what you can afford in my videos. I'm not trying to sell you stuff. I use what I use, and I have a lot of confidence in it, so I try to pass it along. Had to spread J hooks to put them on. Tough stuff. Yep. I have some stuff like that where you have to like normally you just open it a little bit, slide it on. Then there's times where you're like struggling to open stuff enough to put them on. Like you're sitting there struggling to open stuff because it's made so well that you need to open up bigger than normal. But know that with that, you get such high quality stuff that it's not going to break. You know when it's super heavy duty, you buy it once and that's it. I can tell you right now, you buy it once and you're good. Same here. I'm very hard on equipment, so I started making my own. So it will hold up. Exactly. Biggest thing for me why I don't make stuff like that is because just getting the equipment and supplies, then I don't really have a place to work, you know, to do it. So, but man, metalworking is fun. But I'll tell you something. When I got my first metal sliver, man, did that hurt. Never, ever, ever again gonna try to get like mess around too much with metal and get a sliver. That stuff's worse than wood. But then there's times where like I'm messing with 1/2 inch steel plates, you know, cutting stuff on the machine, and you deal with it. And then all of a sudden I'll be working for an hour and a half at school, right? Doing stuff, welding. I was welding so much there, I ended up teaching the kids how to weld because the teacher was so busy. I ended up teaching others how to weld, so I was doing that for a bit. But you carry stuff for the kids and move stuff around. Next thing you know, at the end of class, you're washing hands and looking at your hands, and you have like 6 cuts on your hands. The metal is so sharp that it slices your hand and you don't even know it until you could be bleeding for a couple hours and you don't even know it until the end of the shift. And you're like, damn, I cut myself pretty dang good. Metal's so dang sharp. Be careful with metal, but that stuff's fun. No BS Canon Extremes all the way. Exactly. Oh, I love Kindle traps so much. I feel kind of, even though I don't know, I feel a personal connection because I have a friend that some of you hunters might know, Dave Smith Decoys, DSD Decoys. They make goose decoys. He's a personal friend of my dad's, and I see a lot of what I see in him in Kindle. You know, a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work. I see a lot of the traits in him, and that's why I like supporting Kindle. He just reminds me of my dad's good friend. I only use no BS traps or MB. Exactly. If I had to tell you buy the best, no BS traps by far. MB is great. I used to use all MBs. Then I got to no BS and I'm like, wow, these are quite the upgrade. But what I never had, which cost a lot more, is like MJ Sterling 600s. Get them at like Sterling fur, but MJ Sterling traps, stuff like that. There used to be ones called Jake traps that are pretty good. The Sterling traps though are top of the line. I think the MBs copied the Sterling design, if I remember correctly. Not 100% sure, but so yeah, Sterlings are amazing, but they're like $40 a trap. So I'm not paying that. I'm not that rich. I mean, I'm not that, I don't have that much money. I'm so used to metal in my fingers, I don't even notice it exactly. After a while, that's what happened. Like I noticed it first few times, but then after a while, 4 years down, I'm like, I'll work all day, and by the time I'm walking down to class and walking down the hall, I'm pulling slivers out. I got cuts, and I'm just like, and then I got silt or soot all over your face, and you're like, you don't even realize it. Until you're walking down the hall, looking at your phone, you're like, dang, I got to go back and wash my face. You just had so much fun; it was all over you. I was a 6G nuclear certified welder for 27 years, built aircraft equipment pipeline. That's awesome. Something that's huge passion of mine is like military equipment, aircraft. I go to like all my local air shows. I go to them every year, every single year. Love that stuff. I wanted to be in the military. I couldn't go because medication I take for something I've been diagnosed with. So they want to take me because of the medication. Other than that, I would have went like that. I asked every branch, asked the National Guard, kind of pestered them a little bit, like, what can I do? And they're like, there's nothing we can do. So I was like, darn it. Hopes and dreams as a kid ruined, It's so sad. I was crushed. I have some of them, but they won't leave the box. Exactly. This you might as well take a gold bar and set it out there. I mean, it seemed like that's what it seemed like with the MJ Sterlings. Whew, they're expensive, but I had guys on one of the platforms being like, you can preach no BS all I want, but have you tried the Sterling? And I'm like, I can't afford the Sterling. Yeah, at the same time, it's funny because guys over there saying, well, you're an elitist. You use all the premium stuff. Because I've trapped private property. Why not use the best? It's not going to get stolen. Nobody's on there. And when people do go on there, the owner comes and kicks them out. So I don't have to deal with that. And it's way back in the swamp and way back in there. Public property though, Duke's 100%. 100%. 3 years ago, all I had was Dukes. So, I mean, the last couple of years I've upgraded. I've gotten into this thing where I want to buy American-made products, American products. So I buy most of my clothes are American-made products. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of them, well, let me take that back. Some of my clothes are American-made products just because I want to support American products. They're expensive. They're outrageously expensive for what you get. But, I mean, for me, supporting the American people, I want to do it. It's just something I believe in. Damn, that's so awesome. Yeah, that's pretty dang cool. I mean, that's up there with some of the cool stuff you can do. I mean, that's pretty dang cool. It's funny, you watch Dan and Judith, right? You watch them sometimes. You can sense Dan is incredibly smart the way he thinks about stuff. Very mellow, very relaxed, but very strategic in the way he talks. Very smart. And I pick up on that. Very smart guy. Very smart. Definitely a smart guy. For sure. It's some of the people you're watching, you're like, dang, that guy's smart. Yeah, Dan's one of them for sure. Gotta get another drink here. Bam. Smelled if I can smell the skunk. The garage door is shut, and I went out there earlier on the video. I still get whiffs of the skunk, even though there's no skunk in the house. That's how strong it is. Like, it's still in my senses. It's still in my senses. I don't even have it here. Like, yeah. Man, that's so strong. Exactly. You don't waste words. Exactly. See, my problem is I could talk and talk and talk. I could talk for hours. I can just talk like. But the problem is I become annoying though, and I feel bad because man, I just want to talk to people. I don't talk to a lot of people. Let's see. I said on game land, or I said on state game lands with canine streams. If they get stolen, oh well, crap happens. Exactly. I just like being able to count on my equipment. Nothing against Dukes. Just yep. I mainly say that you buy what you can afford, and if I was on public land, use Dukes, which I would. But I'd also have some of the more expensive ones out in more secluded areas, right? But it's just I say that because I've been called quite a bit, like use an elite. You're an elitist. Use all the traps, the best of traps. Got called all kinds of things. So it's like, you know what? I do have about a dozen Duke 330s. I use them. In fact, a couple years ago, that's all we used. So, but I just prefer the better stuff. And when I buy that stuff, I'm buying it for myself. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. I was gonna get my dad and brothers some gifts this year for Christmas. Can't say what they are because I don't know if they're gonna sneak on here and watch this. So they usually don't. But I can't say. Oh gosh, I can't say anything. But it's definitely one of the best gifts I've ever gotten them. It's expensive too, but definitely looking forward to seeing their faces. If I ask them right now, they'd be like, "Well, I don't need that. I don't need that," you know. But there's definitely a need there. There's definitely a need. Definitely a need for it. They just don't realize it yet, you know. Last travel season, all that stuff, I saw it all the time. They're like, "Oh, we need it," and I was like, you know, maybe I should get them this year. Splurge a little bit on them. I know they've splurged on me for years. So it's time for me to splurge on them. Two things I don't buy anymore as I get older: cheap traps or cheap beer. Exactly. You know, I'm not old. I'm 27, but I value my money more when I spend it on good stuff. You know, I'm more protective of what I have. You know, you're not kind of lazy or you do what you have to do. I run TS85s for Beaver. TS85s for Beaver. Love them. Getting a dozen 850s from Bill Duke when they come out. Yeah, TS85s are amazing. Definitely top of the line. Top of the line. The 850s, I watched Trapper Jay sit there and try to set those. I was planning on getting one and thinking, oh, I could set that. But, you know, with setters, I don't even know if I would ever set it with setters. Unless they make the right setters, you know. Those things are strong. He could barely get that thing open the other day on the live to even set it. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to get one. I was going to get one to fool around with. But I don't know. If Bill makes setters for him, I'm getting them. But whew, they're strong. Personally, I like super strong traps. I know people say that the lockup's important too. I highly believe in lockup too, but for me, I deal with a lot of silt in my beaver trapping. And sometimes they bury, right? They end up getting buried. So if they press on that trigger and that thing has enough power to slam through the silt and shut on them, I want it to have a lot of power. I don't want to be able to get buried, still fire and catch the animal. Some other traps I set, you tap over them with the stick and they wouldn't fire because it's so buried in the silt. So they kind of defeated the purpose, and yeah, it was kind of a mess last year messing with them. Only 34. I mean, we're young. I mean, come on, we're young. But I feel sometimes you feel old. I mean, I got some back problems, so my parents were like, "You're young. You're a young buck." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." And I honestly think I'm in for a world of hurt and awakening when I get older, because I think it's bad now. I don't have a clue. I don't have a slightest clue what's gonna happen. You know, it's really gonna wake me up. And no, I'm not a weakling at all. You know, like it's just the way it is. Wish I could set traps that size, 6.5 outside max jaw spread in my state. For what? Beaver or predators or what? Yep. I know it's not a designated beaver trap. But the Canine Extremes, if you have that size limit, or Canine Extreme Juniors, will work for beaver. So I would suggest the Canine Extremes or Canine Extreme Juniors for beaver. The Canine Juniors are a little small, but the Canine Extremes for sure would get the job done. You don't have to have an 8.5-inch jaw spread to catch beaver. One of my videos you might have watched earlier, it talks about this leg holds and stuff. But no BS 1.5. I read a review. No BS 1.5 caught the beaver by the front foot and held a 56-pound beaver. So on a drowner too, front foot. If that was on the back foot, it probably wouldn't have caught anything because the foot's so big. But front foot, no problem. That thing went down and caught him. So that kind of, I remember that because like a 1.5 and a 56-pound beaver. Holy crap! You know, like that's crazy. That's crazy. You don't hear about that. So it kind of stood with me, the quality of the trap. And the 1.5 is made in China. All of those are made in the USA. But the beefiness of the 1.5, I setting it over my knee. I can only set it on my knee. When I try to set it on the ground, I struggle setting it. It's pretty powerful. As you see, I kind of have small hands, so it's hard to set stuff. Get a pair of the main setters and grind the slot so it will fit the U shape of the. Yep. I thought about that. I thought about, see how the high school is right up the road here. I thought about going to the high school and being like, I'll buy you the metal, you make me something. Have the kids make it there, But they built boats at the high school. They've built trailers. Then right next door is a wood shop. They put the wood in the boats and the trailers, and then we ship them like Hell's Canyon, Idaho, all kinds of things. Anything. Can't send them for anything. That's crazy. Where are you again? Pennsylvania? Because the reason I asked that is because I know Pennsylvania has that law where 6.5 for beaver. We are not allowed to set water or land bigger than 6.5. Yep. I believe it. Yep. That's shocking that Oregon hasn't done that yet. Now I'm not saying do it by any means. Please don't. But Oregon, a very liberal state, has the laws here are pretty lenient. You said land is 220, and anything in any size in the water. Land, I think the biggest exception is MB 650, but I didn't see anything saying you can't set MB 750. I may be wrong on that. I have to look again, but to be safe, I go with 650 just on land. Just wait until your joints have several serial numbers. I held a 64-pound beaver and number 2 scourge on it. Yep. I don't look forward to it. I do a lot of jetty fishing, hopping from rock. Like these rocks, they're just placed rocks, so not like a flat jetty like you might be used to. You hop from one rock, you hop down into a hole, hop up, hop down. So a lot, and I carry a lot on my back. So what my chiropractor said is it literally compacted my discs together like a sandwich. And he says, man, you're really tight. You need to come here again. And he pulled me apart and loosened me up, but literally compacted my discs together from just going up and down, and the backpack pushing on my back and going up and down, walking out on the jetty. That's what he said. He says, your back, this is the words, your back is stacked like cordwood. That's what he said. Your back is stacked like cordwood. And I was like, wow, that shocked me. Caught over 30 plus beaver in the Canada Extremes last season. I run 90% drowner rods in target. Yep. I don't run a lot of leg holds, like I said, but we do set the beaver traps. Leg holds. Right now, obviously we have a half dozen MB 650s that can do beaver. We've caught them in them, but I only have 2 beaver streams because I don't run a big line. So that's all I need right now. Although we just got access to another property down the road from a place that's 2 hours away. Gonna go look around there. I might end up buying more beaver drowners because depending on the soil and all that stuff, I might need more. So it's not, I'm not limiting myself to 2. I'm open for more. It's just what I have right now and I need right now. Pennsylvania. Yep. I was running raffles, and one guy said I can't use those in Pennsylvania. They did 6.5, so that's why I figured it was 6.5. I remember that. Gary Mako. Hey Gary, how's it going? Do you do any trapping, fishing? What's your hobby? What do you like to do? No conifers out of the water. Out of the water, of course. Really? That's crazy. Like you would, I mean, on the extreme end for me would be, oh, let's just put a 110 or 120 on land. That's the minimum. That's like extreme into stuff. But you can't set them at all. That's crazy. That's mind blowing to me. Man, I'll tell you one thing. I'm not moving to Pennsylvania. Man, oh Lord, that sucks, man. Yeah. Oh, I feel so bad for you. Damn. I thought my state was bad. Oh, air bubble in my throat. Fizz in my throat. Just, and put this in perspective. I know people, when they think of Oregon, they think of Portland. It's, Portland's horrible, really bad. I live 20 minutes outside Portland. Different world. But there's a catch. that stuff's starting to flow out here, starting to overflow, which is a problem. My friend literally was walking down the street in Forest Grove, which is the other side of me, about 10, 15 minutes. Walking down the street, and there's a baggie, crystal meth, sitting on the ground. First time I've heard that out there. I'm like, oh my gosh, here it comes. We're going to ruin this whole state now. It's overflowing. Not even kidding. Crystal meth in a bag. I could not believe it. Who drops that? Like, why? In my mind, I'm thinking, I don't know anything about it besides that it's super flipping expensive, right? Because I watched some of Drug Inc., all the shows about drugs and the stuff. And I was like, damn, that's got to be worth a lot of money. I was like, and she called the police, and I was like, yeah, you should. That's holy crap. It shocked me. See, I wish we could use the rods. I had to use 16-foot cables to get deep water in the swamp here. The rods just aren't long enough to drown. Yep. See, we use 6-foot drowners. I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with the 6-foot drowning cables. Out here, we could probably need 10. My dad always says, you don't need any more traps. You don't need any more stuff. I'm thinking, I'm not happy with the way it looked last year. The water fluctuated enough that when the water went down, the beaver would have been alive if we got caught in it. So I'm not happy with that. I need to get some 10-foot drowners, or I have a cable. I'm just going to make them. But yeah, 10-foot. It's just crazy. My dad's like, we don't need any more stuff. And I'm thinking, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be upgraded because it's not up to my standards when it comes to stuff. It's just not going to work. Hunt, fish, and trap Ohio. Some pictures. Do you steal it, fish, Gary? Do you steal a fish or bass fish? If you bass fish, I got some big bass to show you on the wall. And there's actually a state record on the wall here that my brother caught in 2005. It's a smallmouth. I'll show you if you're interested. It's 8 pounds, 2 ounces. Big smallmouth bass. 155 bigs on land here. See, I can understand that a little bit. It's not as big as 160, but they're still giving me some leverage because the 155 is not pumping you down to a 120. It still sucks, but I've seen raccoon die in 155. So So is it 155? What is exactly the measurements? Because wildlife Wildlife Control Services on the internet sells it 5-inch by 7-inch, so 5 inches high, 7 inches wide. I watched a seminar on Facebook that Dunlap did, but someone else was actually performing the seminar. He mentioned that he prefers the 5 inches high by 7 wide because it gives you a little more room on the trail. If you do 6 high, 7 wide, or 5 high, 7 wide, I suggest checking those out because that way you cover a little bit wider trail and it will still be within your laws, hopefully. Crappie and walleye, maybe some perch. Yep. I got a big crappie in the wall over here. There's 18-inch crappie over here on the wall. Black crappie, big one. My brother caught. My brother just shot a giant elk too. I just told him, I was kidding him the other day. I was like, when will you stop killing giants? When will you stop catching all these giants? The brother's gonna get things checked for Boone and Crockett and all that stuff. And it's like, he has all the luck in the world. I don't get it. So he has an 18-inch crappie, a giant crappie. He has the state record smallmouth bass here in Oregon. It's still a state record. He's caught a couple 8-pound largemouth and a couple 7-pound largemouth. My biggest is like 7.6. My dad's joking with me. He's like, "No, you're gonna catch a big world record raccoon." I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't know if that compares to a giant elk or a big bass. Come on." They're giving me crap. Taking off. We are headed to town. We'll be watching the video. Appreciate it, Judy and Dan. I really appreciate you supporting you guys always being stand-up people. Appreciate you. Have a good one. Be safe. Drive safely, just I'll look forward to seeing you guys in future lives and on my videos. Thanks for coming and hanging out. You guys want to see the bass? Or we also got a giant otter over here. We got bear pelts. We got otter pelts. We got raccoon pelts. We have deer. We have a caribou in the other room. Used to live in central Missouri. 15 to 16 inches was very common. Yep. Yeah, for crappie. Yeah. Yep. Yep. The crappie. Yeah. That's a big crappie. But see, the thing, what you guys gonna do, you guys can do the thing called spider rigging, where you put this much rods on. In Oregon, you're only allowed one rod unless if you have a 2-rod endorsement, and that's not for every fishery. So the maximum you technically use is 2 rods. Even for trash fish, in Oregon, trash fish the rods are regulated. Some states you can use how many rods you want for trash fish because they're considered trash fish like carp. But yeah, in Oregon, there's just recently they did started the 2-rod stuff. So it's kind of crazy that they did that stuff. But I mean, heck, I used to do the European carp fishing stuff with like the rod, the bite alarms, all that stuff. I still have all that stuff. And I was wishing I had 3 rods. Did 2 rods, lots, caught plenty of fish. Some places like the Columbia River that's close by, you put 2 rods out there, one rod will go off, the other rod will go off. You couldn't keep them off your rod. And a lot of that had to do with like tides, because when the tide came up, they came in. The tide went down, they went out, and you couldn't catch them. So it's just kind of, there's kind of like a flat. Yep. My dad grew up in Yonkers, New York, just outside the city. In fact, Yankee Stadium is just up the street from my grandparents' house. You know what Yankee Stadium is. Grew up there, did tons of trapping, fishing. He pretty much, mustache is my nose, I need to trim it. He's pretty much taught me everything I know about fishing. He's taught me everything. My grandparents taught me some stuff, but my dad's taught me pretty much everything. I have 8 fishing sponsors, and working on a 9th, working on a big one called, you've probably heard of it, Daiwa Fishing. Working on Daiwa, but I have P-Line, I have a couple of apparel companies. Working on a semi-custom rod company called Edge Rod by Gary Loomis. It's a Gary Loomis used to own G Loomis, used to own Land Glass, and now he has his own company called Edge Rods. But yeah, working on them. In fact, I'm pretty close with the co-owner, so we talk a lot. I started a group on Facebook specifically for that company, and we work pretty close together. His name's Alex Masloff. He's a great guy, great dude. A lot of good fishing up here in Oregon. Believe it or not, there's a lot of salmon and steelhead fishing. And there's not a lot of people do it, but bass and crappie and panfish and catfish. This right now is fall Chinook and tributary fishing right now. I haven't done much of it this year. I'm 100% focused on trapping, but the other thing that will come soon is chum salmon or dog salmon. They call dog salmon or chum salmon because they usually just fed to the dogs in Alaska. And now here's the thing you may not know: the people say you can't feed fish to dogs, right? That's because you can't feed what is it? Processed fish, that kind of fish, farm raised fish. But the wild fish in Alaska, there's a genetic thing there where they don't hurt their dogs. So that's why they can feed them to them. There's a thing in there that won't get their dogs sick. And the fact that they're raised on them. So it's something where like the wild fish won't hurt the dog, but the certain kinds of fish will. So that's why you always hear about don't feed your dogs any fish, wild fish, because the majority of people don't know the difference, and then they'll end up hurting their dog. So that's kind of something cool though to think about, that they feed fish to the dogs in Alaska. But chum salmon, we got chum salmon, silver salmon, which silver salmon is a coho salmon, Chinook salmon, which is king salmon. A couple years ago I saw a red salmon, not very common here, but saw one first time like 16 years I saw one swimming up the bank, and I knew it because of the shape it was. I knew it was a red salmon. Coastal river, they aren't known to go in there, but that one was. Pretty cool stuff. Fish a lot of the rivers I fish is the Wilson River, which is in Tillamook, Oregon. Have you ever heard of Tillamook Cheese Company? They're right there, Tillamook. The Trask River, the Kilches River, which is chum fishing, and there's Chinook fishing. But chum fishing, you can't keep chum salmon in Oregon. It's completely closed. Washington, you can. For me, I want to keep them. They just don't. As soon as they get in the river, they turn color. They start have bars on them, so they start getting just turned into they aren't good. So I want to keep them anyways. But Chinook salmon, love them. In fact, I have some smoked salmon in there that my brother caught that I smoked on his Traeger. So that's kind of cool. You guys want to see anything? Traps? Traps. Let me let the dogs out. I think they got to the bathroom. Traps. Let's see. Otter mounts, fish, all kinds of things they got. Let me know if you want to see anything. Go on, Barley, go ahead. But sure you can see right there. There's the big crappie up there. See right there. Let's see. Inverted. There's a crappie. There's a otter. There's the 1 8-pounder, 8-pound bass, northern strain. They're different than southern strain. There's the state record smallmouth, 8 pounds 2 ounces. I do not. Do you render your own fish oil? I do not. That won't go over very well with my mother. So I live with him, so I'm not doing that here. I want to. I really want to though. When I move out, I will. I'll start doing it in an apartment. The apartment people get mad, but I'll do it. 8-pound smallmouth, 8 pound 2 ounces. Another big 8-pound bass, my dad's. Let's look at some mounts here. Let's see. Let's see. So, why the heck's that? My mom's hanging her pants, so I don't know why. But there's an otter we caught last year. There's another otter. Some of this stuff we bought, but this we don't have these here, so I don't know. But I think it's the pine marten, honestly. I know what we have here. Like I know what species we have here, and I'm pretty fishing at it. That's a mink we caught. Pretty sure that's a mink. There's a weasel up here that my dad bought. Little weasel. Another weasel. These are the mounts my dad got done in New York a long time ago. Up there, let's see, there's one. There's the big caribou my dad shot in Canada. Right, let's see if I turn the camera right there. Of course, you all probably will laugh, but you ever seen a jackalope? It's kind of a joke, but there's a jackalope. Some bears up there. There's a bear there. There used to be another bear over there. My brother got. There's a beaver, raccoon, 2 raccoons, and an otter. We have stuff all over the house. I often kid around like my house. This house is like a museum. It seems like sometimes. I'm always worried who comes into the house, what they're gonna think. You know, if they're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, what's that?" You know, start freaking out. But it's kind of funny. You render? Oh, I already answered that. You render on fish oil. Let's see. Have any sterling traps? I do not. I just never had a need. I didn't buy them. I just didn't. You see the boxes there? The feed's in there. I'm gonna do some stuff with the corn and the sweet feed. Let's go look around in the garage. Oh, where's the light? There's the light. Man, it smells like skunk in here. Woo! And I got that thing in 6 different bags at She Traps Holy Water. It's called Holy Water by She Traps. It's like a liquidized hellfire on steroids. We got the boat here, drift boat. We got the crab rings. Got the crayfish pots up there. Of course, we got the Coon Creek Outdoor setters here that I just bought. A bunch of traps that I did demo on. Right there, 1Ks and stuff. Bunch of lures. Bunch of Carrington, the Ultra Mag by Kyle Katz. This stuff's pretty good. Fur comb, fish oil, all kinds of things. The bobcat traps, the bobcat cages are at my brother's house, but tons of things in here. Of course, over here we got the H stands right there, tall H stands. Anybody get this a little closer? Tall H stands, and then tons of rebar. This particular H stand is 58 inches. It's from Snare Shop, whereas let's say the other ones are 46. So you can tell the difference there. Or 48. Those are all the traps here. The totes. Trapping bag right there. A couple buckets. I got a bunch of stuff coming in the mail for you guys to do videos. Or for me to do videos on for you guys to have unboxings. Because I got a lot of comments saying, I love your unboxing videos. So I got a lot of unboxing videos coming. Bunch of swivels and stuff in here. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in here. This is kind of where I do my skin in the garage here. Of course, otters boards. So you want to laugh. So my mom drove an hour and a half in the car, and her best friend pranked her and put that on her license plate. I fart loud. I fart loud was on her license plate on the main highway for over an hour driving. And then you got the beaver boards there. Then you got the muskrat board there. Another muskrat board there for the round ones or stuff like that if you do round muskrat, which have actually on the fur market have been doing better than the tube skinned rats. So keep that in mind this season. Gonna do some round skin like a beaver. Of course, the fly rods, nets, all kinds of fish rods up there. I got probably got like 50 different fish rods of my own. Too many. Of course, I got the cool sweatshirt here. Dunlop Lures. I don't know if you see that right there. Dunlop Lures. Results matter. Deaf dealer in front. You get that on Dunlop Lures. Not sponsored by them. I just appreciate them and buy from them. For coyotes, let's see. Do you run 4 or 2 coils? See, on the 650s that I have for coyotes, we run 4 coil. Just because, I mean, we believe in the power. Okay, I got 10 minutes and I got to get off because the person's gonna come pick the dogs up. But then once the dogs are done, I'll hop back on and go live again. So expect a second live today. 4 coil. You can get away with 2 coil. We don't have a lot of like super frozen ground here, but we could do a 2 coil. No real opinion on 2 or 4 for me, just based on what the contents are. But I mean, when my brother bought the 4 coil, we were more learning about coyotes, so he just bought them because that's what everyone said to buy. Now knowing more, we could easily got away with 2 coil for the simple fact that our ground doesn't really freeze here. It doesn't freeze. The dirt doesn't freeze. We don't get much below 32 degrees very often, so we don't have a lot. Our water really doesn't freeze. Some of the lakes will freeze, so not a lot of problems. We don't deal with ice really. Anything else you want to see real quick before I have to get off? Dogs are out playing out back. Guess there's some cool stuff. It says Cam, Mike, guess. I'm still learning all this stuff. I think I'm doing pretty good for my first live feed. It's quite exciting for me. I would stay live for another hour and a half, no problem. But have person come pick up the dog and I'm getting paid. So I mean, I'm not going to turn that down. You know what I mean? It's money, right? Yeah. Let's see what banners mean. Banners. Example banner. I don't know what that all that stuff is. Been alive for an hour and 3 minutes. I'll definitely go live again in a little bit. So drop the dog off, probably take 15 minutes or so, and then I'll go live. You guys have any questions or anything? Question. I know that I answered the coyote question or the Foco Sterling. What setters do you use for the KO streams? I use 4 coil for the winners in here, but they are hell to set. See, if you go to Kendall Obermeyer's website, he sells setters like the same as I have for my beaver setters that work incredible and they're made for him. If you go on the website, order them from him, he will send you the high quality setters that what they do is they sit like this, the trap walks in there, then the one end comes down on top of the other end and it's open. And you just grab it with one hand, shut the pan, lift up, and it's done. So it's pretty much one hand operated, besides when you squeeze them together. Kindle makes incredible ones. Definitely highly recommended. Very heavy duty, and definitely worth the money. Shipping's a little bit, costs a little much, but I'm not too worried about it because I got a really, really high quality setters from them. And they work fabulous. Definitely my favorite setters. I wish everybody made setters that way, but it is what it is. So yeah, I use 4 coil for winners here. Yeah, 4 coil. Hold on. I know that the no BS traps are hard to set. For me, they're hard to set. So his setters are good. It makes the job a breeze. Some of his old Facebook videos. No, definitely buy his. Good to know. It says didn't know if I should buy his or Paravet Universal. Definitely buy his. But I mean, you're gonna get a better quality setter. May cost a little more, but by far blows my mind. I saw him set that once. He blocked in there, went down like this, and set the pan, lifted up, and it's done within a couple matter of seconds. So definitely buy his. Highly recommend them. I scam call. Scam call. No, don't need scam calls. Yeah, definitely pick up Kindles and make it a breeze. I know people always say, "Well, I want to be carrying those big clunky things around," but I can set the traps so quick with them. It doesn't bother me. It's worth carrying the little bit extra weight for me for the setters than having to struggle with each set and spend so much time setting each individual, setting each one. Because when you set each one, it takes time, and when you struggle with it, it just adds that much more time on it. When you can lock them in, push it down, open the pan, lift up, and be done, pretty much that quick, worth every penny to me, and worth the extra weight. So definitely recommend them. And for me, it's worth the weight, and I backpack everything in. I put everything on my back, carry everything in. So that being said, definitely worth the extra weight. So check them out. I don't know if you use a ATV or what you do, but definitely check them out. I don't know who else is viewing, but I have 5 minutes, and someone's coming to pick up the dog that I'm babysitting or dog sitting, and then I'll be back on. So bear with me. I'll be back. When he knocks, I'm just gonna have to get off. But just so you know, I'm gonna get off. But I will be back, and we will continue to talk about this stuff because it's something that I'm very passionate about, trapping and fishing and all that stuff. And when we come back, we can talk about hunting a little bit, some of the hunting stuff that my brother shoots, if you're interested in that. He has a special long-range gun that he shoots, and he shot it out to 1,800 yards at the range. So it's long-range gun. It will kill elk. It will kill deer. So, all right, I'm going to get off real quick. You should be coming any minute. So I'll be back. Give me a half hour at most. I'll be back. All right, have a good one. Bye-bye.